I don't think many people are following my vlog, but I did want to talk about this 30 pitch per inning cap that managers should self-impose on pitchers in a series of stories. So first, I think that managers get this total pitch count, and the first day it jumps to like 85 if you rest them appropriately depending on their age. And they're like, okay, what's the big deal? I'm actually well under half of my potential pitch count, and I'm not endangering any arms. And the fact is actually that not only are you endangering the arm, but you're actually risking your ability to win this baseball game. So it undermines both motivations here. A good analogy to understand what you're doing to a pitcher is thinking about exercising at a gym. And imagine we're doing bench presses with an amount of weight where you can do 15, and then at the end of that 15, it's like, well, I need a rest right now. And you're going to do 3 sets of that. Yeah, you're going to be able to go to a total of 45 without, I don't want to say without much of a problem, because as you get into your 3rd set and you're putting up that amount of weight that I suggested, you know, 42, 43, 44, and 45 are really going to be increasingly strained with each one, to the point where you might need a spotter on your 44th and 45th one, because that's really when you're breaking down the muscle and getting those gains in the gym. So now let's take this thought experiment further and imagine that you do your bench press and you do 2 sets at one time. So that one that fatigued you at about 15, you're really asking your body to do a whole heck of a lot to add the double of the amount of reps. And you might even need that spotter, actually, way earlier, 25, 26 reps. This is exactly what you're asking a kid to do when you put them in their pitching. Pitching is kind of like, not close to, it's a little bit different than bench pressing, but it's a good analogy, close to max lift on a bench press. And when they start to get out to mid-20s, they are really facing a large amount of fatigue. And the symptoms that you see are not velocity. Velocity will still be good. If you have a pocket radar, you're still going to see the more or less same velocity coming out of that kid. What you're going to see is command loss. Command loss is a sign of muscle failure. Just like at the gym when you yell spot, that is what your pitcher is doing to you as the manager, yelling, spot me. Get the next guy in there to take care of the job. When you have muscle fatigue, you are increasing the risk of injury to that person's arm, both in the immediate and in the long term. And we're talking about the immediate because we're talking about pitch count limits, but that's why we have our total pitch count limits, because we are fatigued the next day. We need that recovery day. We cannot pitch fatigued because it's going to place our UCL at risk and our shoulders to an extent as well. So Pitch Smart is a good system, not a perfect system. Hard limit at 30, except in high leverage games.